What's happening, everyone? My name is Max. I'm a communication skills coach. What I do on this channel is I look at all different types of people's communication skills. I have seen a few NCT 127 videos. I've enjoyed them. It's been a little bit of time since I've reacted to them, so I look forward to diving back in. Renjun will be a new face for me, and I did a little bit of research prior. It looks like he's part of the NCT Dream cast. And as always, if you want to watch my uncut reaction, all you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Other than that, I look forward to diving into the video today. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm assuming because NCT is massive, right? They have like 300 members. I guess this is an opportunity for some of the members to get closer.
아는데 말이 길어지는 거 보면 어색한 거겠죠?
그렇게 어색하지는 않는다고 얘기하긴 했는데 사실 제가 일부러 말을 엄청 많이 했거든요. 어색할까 봐.
전혀 모르겠어요.
Okay.
왜냐면 사실
I get what he's saying there. It's like, I feel uncomfortable. I'm just gonna talk because anything is better than just like sitting in this awkward, uncomfortable silence. The contrast here is that Mark and Hae-chan do not strike me as awkward guys at all. Especially Mark, extremely comfortable socially. And he is not only a great facilitator of conversation, he's not only really good at asking questions and showing his curiosity in other people, but he's also good at communicating his own ideas and messages. And he seems like a guy who really remains true to who he is as well.
같이 붙어 있는 것도 많이 본 적이 없고.
아니?
한 번도 없습니다.
카톡이 있는지 잘 모르겠어요. 너무 정없어 보이지 않겠죠?
거의 만약에 1에서 10까지면은 한 진짜 1 정도 연락.
This is hilarious, man. It's like a dating show. This is actually hilarious. Like Hae-chan and Mark, again, both seem to be guys who feel very comfortable socially. So it's almost like they're the coaches, it feels like. Like they're the social coaches.
네, 뒤에 서세요.
런쥔이 눈빛.
자, 살며시 런쥔이 얼굴 옆으로 다가가서 오랜만이야. 보고 싶었지?
Okay, so they are coaching them. They've got them in their ear. So obviously, this is set up for failure in a way, right? Obviously, with all eyes on them, the frickin' series is called It's Awkward, But It's Okay. So there's this level of anticipation for this whole thing to be uncomfortable and awkward. So how are these guys really supposed to feel comfortable, let alone there being cameras on them as well?
자, 이 선서를 둘이 한번 같이
같이 읽어보세요.
네, 보세요.
하나, 둘, 셋.
어색하지.
와 실화야? 와.
여기부터 지정 씨 런쥔 씨한테 좀 맞추세요라고 한마디 하세요.
I get the sense right off the bat that Renjun is actually more awkward. DOYOUNG doesn't seem that awkward, if I'm being honest. If I'm just looking at DOYOUNG's demeanor and the way he carries himself, he certainly doesn't come across as a guy who's uncomfortable or awkward. It's awkward only because they're in his ear telling him to say like semi-romantic things to Renjun, a guy who he doesn't really talk to that often. So yeah, it's gonna be awkward.
좋아요.
어잉? 뭐야 이거?
동시에 카메라 보고 선서 오른쪽 손 올리면서 하시면 돼요.
손 올리면서.
하나, 둘, 셋.
나 오른쪽 어딘지 몰라요.
여기.
오른쪽 밥 먹는 손이요. 네.
하나, 둘, 셋. 선서. 끝.
자, 이제 앉을까요?
형 뭐 어떻게 지내셨어요?
This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. The whole thing is meant to make them feel more awkward, but in a way, because they're partaking in this together and they're experiencing this together, this will probably bring them a lot closer in the end, if I had to guess.
제가 듣기로는 어색할 때 미션 하나씩 하면 된다고 해가지고.
아 진짜로?
네. 그래가지고 제가 형한테 카톡으로 형 맛있게 먹었어요 라고 혹시나 제 번호가 없으니까 런쥔이에요 라고까지 보냈어요. 그거를 그대로 맛있게 냠냠 그래서 그때 어떻게 된 건지.
Renjun feels like he's coming out of his shell here, being open and honest with DOYOUNG.
너를 그대로 맛있게 냠.
That showed me right away a different side to Renjun. My impression is that he is someone who has the confidence to speak his mind and to tell someone when he's feeling a certain way. He's okay to confidently express himself. This is interesting because there's like a radical honesty component to this activity that I think, like I said earlier, might bring them closer together.
네.
사실 일부러 그랬어.
아 진짜로?
너가 그걸 보면서
너가 그걸 보면서
너에게 내가 특별해지길 바랬어.
너에게 내가 특별해지길 바랬어.
오 마이.
상처받았니?
상처받았니?
아 아니.
미안해.
아 진짜 이게 뭐야 이게.
그치만 앞으로도 그럴 거야.
They're cringing. These guys are cringing.
두 손 머리 위로 올리시고 I say do, you say 영, do.
우리가 공통점이 있다고 생각해요.
우리가 공통점이 있다고 생각해요.
뭐라고?
형 똑바로 얘기해요. 지금 안 들리잖아.
우리 둘의 공통점이 뭐라고 생각해요? 형?
I mean, the difficult part of this activity as well, it's like, how do they know when each other are being sincere? And how do they know when Mark and Hae-chan are speaking in their ear?
그냥 이 방송 자체에 그냥 말리면 안 돼요.
Yes.
하는 대로 하면 돼요.
Yes.
맞아. 마크 씨가 제대로 하면
그러니까
될것
막상 좀
같아요.
제대로 지금
See, like Renjun's like, he's kind of like pushing for a more honest interaction here. Renjun sets his boundaries, man. I like Renjun. He stands up for himself here. He comes across as a little quieter, but I do get the feeling that he's certainly confident in himself at the end of the day.
런쥔아.
네.
그러니까 왜 그랬어?
그러니까 왜 그랬어?
거의 막장 드라마.
이거 왜 그랬어?
아, 노래 부르고 싶었어요. 그냥
그 우리 같이 노래 한 소절 할까?
우리 계속 노래 한 소절 할까? 무슨 노래?
무슨 노래 할까요?
너
DOYOUNG seems like an incredibly nice person. Like, I'm getting the sense as well that he feels a little bad about like playing out Mark and Hae-chan's wishes here. Seems like he doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, you know? DOYOUNG's more like, I'm gonna go with what the team says. Like, he's gonna follow the leader a little bit more easily. Whereas Renjun actually feels like he's a little bit of a rebel.
이제는 뭐 어색한 사이지 않으니까
일상 대화 나눌 시간.
There you go. Now Renjun looks a lot more relaxed. He's kind of settled in. You look at his body language. He's just kind of chilling. He's like, I feel a little more comfortable with you now.
사이지 않으니까
We can kind of just have a conversation. And I believe him.
내가 가장 싫어하는 채소는?
일단 옵션 몇 가지 있을 것 같아요. 고수, 그리고 오이. 오이
맞아.
맞아요? 다음 생일 선물 때 오이 선물. 오케이. 진짜 어색하다.
Don't be Renjun when you're going out with someone and you ask someone a question, they say something, and you don't respond or say anything at all. Try not to do that at least. In a way, like Renjun is sort of like in control of this conversation. And like I said, DOYOUNG seems like the type of guy who's kind of like easygoing, kind of fits in with the boys, you know, might not necessarily be as decisive as some of the other guys. But because he is in that role of more control and potential dominance, he has the ability, that switch, to make things feel more awkward. Whereas DOYOUNG's just kind of going along with the ride here.
네가 싫어하는 채소는 모르겠고 네 미소는 좋아.
이제 답을.
네가 싫어하는 채소는 모르겠는데
네. 싫어하는 사람은 알겠죠.
내 미소는 좋아.
어우.
DOYOUNG's just kind of playing into Hae-chan and Mark, I think. He's kind of making this entertaining. That's what I think DOYOUNG's also doing. He's kind of making this activity more entertaining. He knows the fans are going to like the cringe.
네네.
나의 룸메이트는?
이거는 너무 재미없는데.
누군지 알아?
알죠.
아, 알아?
형 갔었잖아요. 형.
맞네.
우리 다.
왜 이렇게 기억 못해요?
제가 그 정도밖에 안 돼요.
내가 해야 되니?
기억해야 되니?
아 역시.
Like, I think Renjun's actually quite straightforward and a bit blunt. And I think maybe to some people he can come across as a little too direct and almost mean in a way. He's not. That's not the impression I get. I just can see how people might think that. Maybe part of the awkwardness with him is he's not really good with formalities and niceties and being nice for the sake of being nice. As a result, things might feel a little awkward because he is straightforward.
저는 솔직히 쉬울 것 같았어요. 왜 이게 쉬워?
어벤져스인가?
아 겨울왕국이구나.
겨울 방송이요? 아니야. 그거를 틀려버리네.
어벤져스?
파란색.
아 몬스터 주식회사?
그건 해찬이고. 형 진짜 이렇게만.
아바타?
Funny because Renjun he's a little bit disagreeable in a way. When I mean disagreeable, that's more of a personality type. There's really agreeable people, there's disagreeable people, and there's people all throughout that sliding scale of agreeableness. So I'm getting the sense that we've got an agreeable guy and a disagreeable guy, but Renjun might not be the guy who's going to initiate conversation and ask questions. And maybe DOYOUNG on the quieter side, he might not be the guy to initiate and ask questions naturally either. It is kind of an awkward dynamic now that I really think about it. And DOYOUNG doesn't strike me as the type of guy who engages in like that witty sort of I'm gonna make fun of you, you're gonna make fun of me banter.
Give me some이야.
정답은 Give me some.
형 뭐예요?
형 뭐예요?
늦으면 기대할게.
내가 가장
내가 가장
내 몸에
내 몸에 자신 있는 부위는?
There you go.
정답.
That was a genuine laugh between the two there. A lot of the remarks that they're feeding to DOYOUNG are to kind of be flirtatious with Renjun.
Give me some이야.
I guess just the essence of being flirtatious with someone that you don't really know that well or you're not super close with is awkward, right? And Renjun, he doesn't take it as well, like the flirtatious remarks, as well as maybe some other people would take it.
형 뭐예요?
형 뭐예요?
He knows, although it's a joke, he just can't really handle the insincerity and the discomfort with those remarks. He can't really, it's just like, it's too much for him, you know? That's what it seems like.
뭐라요? 정확히 얘기해줘야지.
귀여워.
형은 진짜 나에 대해서 뭐가 좋아요? 지금 5초 이상.
Through this whole interaction, you notice when he asks DOYOUNG something, he's really like maintaining eye contact with DOYOUNG. He's like looking at him straight in his face and not breaking away. Like that shows me that Renjun definitely has a level of confidence. He projects a level of confidence in himself. At the end of the day, he's really not that uncomfortable with DOYOUNG or in a social setting.
아잉.
아이.
아니 여기 밖에 들리잖아.
아니 얘기할 거 조용히 얘기해야지. 오케이, 그러면은 우리 잠깐 마크 해찬이의 말을 안 듣고 잠깐
정말?
우리의 얘기를 합시다.
Renjun dictating the pace. Forget about Mark and Haechan.
마크 해찬이의 말을 안 듣고
Renjun in control here, the more assertive one in this conversation, whereas DOYOUNG's more like following the lead, playing the flirtatious jokester, kind of like being the mouthpiece to Haechan and Mark.
없어요?
오늘 밥은 뭐 먹었어?
뽑을게요.
귀요미송 알아?
같이 하는 걸로 할까요?
내가 먼저 시범 보여줄게.
오케이.
나 혼자 하고 싶어.
아니 나 혼자 2 더하기 2는 귀요미.
이제 너의 귀요미송 보여주겠니?
1 더하기 2는
그만해.
What an interesting episode. Still not sure how I feel about it completely, but either way, I enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Thank you for the recommendation. If you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, all you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Also on my Patreon page, you're going to find all my uncut reactions. Plus, I go live every single week and I react to tons and tons of different artists. All you need to do is go to my Patreon page. Other than that, my name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.